Hi, friends. I want to give you another update on what's going on in the war here in Israel and Gaza. As a matter of fact, I just came back from a special time, some confidential meetings with key Arab Christian leaders from across the Middle East. And of course, I can't give the details for that for security reasons, but it was just amazing. We had deep hours and hours of heart talks, working through the emotional issues and the biblical issues and the moral issues. So I just want to say that I believe our Arab Christian friends here across the Middle East are heroes to us, and there are brothers and sisters in this war and peace, because I've said we have to fight the war, but the only peaceful solution is the love between Arabs and Jews through faith in Yeshua, the Messiah. Well, as far as the war goes, seems about 1.9 million Gazans have been displaced, evacuated from their homes, and it's a very difficult issue. I think they're probably going to have to get moved again out of the Rafiah area, a little bit to the north or to the west, to get them out of the next stage of fighting, which will probably come to the Rafiah area. And I just want to say, although we are in a war with Hamas, and we believe that Hamas has to be destroyed, that is a terrorist organization, criminal. But the people of Gaza are people that we love. They're human beings. We love all people just the same. And I just want to say that our hearts are broken and hurting from them. They've just been devastated. As far as the war itself goes, it actually, militarily speaking, has been proceeding very well. It's taken a long time, mostly because Israel has been going by very clear moral rules, ethical behavior in war, so that there will be very few non-involved citizens, innocent citizens hurt. And they've been very exact in that. And that's why instead of just bombing a place, we've taken 4 months to get to this point of working through the Hamas brigades. And what we understand is that there were 24 Hamas brigades or divisions, and Israel, we have at this point dismantled 19 of them. So that's how the war is going forward. It looks at this pace, that'll be about another month until Hamas should be totally dismantled. So that's good news. One of the things that we've seen is the issue of money. Hamas was hugely financed. In one of the underground tunnels, one of our soldiers uncovered one document listing gift by gift of $154 million, of which $1 million every year was going personally to Sinwar. Amazing amounts of money were going through that. In another place, they came into, soldiers got to the point in a tunnel underground they were so close to catching the people that the Hamas terrorists, with our own hostages, evacuated the area just moments before we got there. You know how we know it was so close? They left a bag of cash, big sack of cash, 20 million shekels in cash in bags. They ran out of the room. You think about how close our soldiers were getting to them if they didn't even take that money with them. So we feel that the war is going well. And you have to realize that we're not doing this for vengeance reasons. We're doing it to free up this area from the tyranny of Islamic extremism and terror. We really believe when Hamas is taken out, and we believe it will be soon, that it's going to free not just Hamas, it's going to free up the whole Middle East from this reign of terror. Our government has been very clear in stating that after the war, the way the new arrangement will come there is all we want is two things. We want the area demilitarized and de-radicalized. Demilitarized means you can't have weapons floating around, and de-radicalized means you have to check that there isn't propaganda, indoctrination in children's schooling to train them to be suicide terrorists. But we also think that when that happens, it's going to open up a whole bunch of partners to come and work together with us, particularly in Muslim nations, moderate Muslim nations that will want to come in and help to to rebuild Gaza when they can't do that now if it's potentially that Hamas is still going to be there. They're not going to come in if Hamas is there. But once we remove Hamas, we widen the circle of normalization and partners to work together, not just for Hamas, but peace and normalization throughout the Middle East. Let's hope and pray that can really happen. As far as the hostages go, we had some very difficult news this week, and that we've been praying for 136 hostages to be returned. The Army just reported to 31 families that 31 of those 136 were actually killed already, which drops the number all the way down, what's that, to 105. And also what we're hearing is that those that were just confirmed, they're pretty confident that there's been also another 20 that have already been killed, which means that the numbers of those hostages that are there are coming all the way down to, that brings you to about 85 people. So that's a difficult issue. Now, we also wanted to say that a touchy issue here has been what we call the humanitarian aid that's going in. Right now, Israel is allowing 100 massive trucks coming into Gaza to bring humanitarian aid to the people. Now, you think that would be good, but what's happening is a lot of the families of the people who have hostages there, they say, why are we giving humanitarian aid to the Gazans when there's no humanitarian, not aid, even any relating to the fact that our hostages are in a terribly inhumane situation? How are we giving humanitarian aid by the hundreds of truckloads when not even the most basic humanitarian aid is being given to our hostages? And is that actually causing a delay in rescuing the hostages or bringing an end to the war? Because we're seeing when the trucks come in with all this aid, a lot of the Hamas terrorists jump on it and they take it away and they use it for them. That is a real humanitarian ethical crisis. At this point, our government has said, despite all that loss, we still want to be giving this humanitarian aid to the displaced Gazans there, despite all the problems with it. And I think that's probably the right decision for now. We have to trust the government on that. So it's also one last thing, and that is the world was getting excited about there's some sort of proposed hostage deal. That's ridiculous. There was a certain framework that was set up and by the diplomats, and then Hamas responded to that, and their response was basically they wanted Israel to totally surrender, that the Hamas was going to take over the Temple Mount, and all the Hamasniks were going to be set free. It's ridiculous. It reminds me in the Bible when God hardened the heart of Pharaoh because he had passed judgment on it. Because of the hardness of that heart, and it's so ridiculous. I'll give you an example how you could see it. It's so ridiculous. Take that proposed deal and just switch names. If we were putting the exact terms on the other side, the amount of who's being released and what terms there are, you can see it doesn't make any sense. But what that means is the fighting is likely to go on, and but I want us to pray that there will be a quick and decisive victory. Netanyahu said recently, he said that we are on the verge, we're so close to, in Hebrew, what is nitzachon muchlat. How would I translate that? You could translate that either as an absolute victory or a total victory or a decisive victory. Well, one of those words, whichever way you want it, but we're that close to it. And we believe that if there can be a clear and decisive dismantling of the military structure of Hamas, then the hostages can be brought back, and then we can bring in new partners among the Arab world to help rebuild what in Gaza, and also to bring normalization to the whole Middle East. Folks, we're on the potential, if we keep praying, that this could result in a tremendous opportunity and breakthrough for better relations in the Middle East. So keep praying. Thanks so much.